Plants do not run, do not chase, do not scream, but they can burn skin, fire seeds, summon defenders, poison the rain beneath them. Rooted does not mean helpless. Nature looks calm, beautiful, silent, alive. But beneath that surface, there is force, pressure building, gas rising, ice cracking, wind sharpening. A lake can suffocate a valley. A tree can burn your skin. A storm can erase direction. This is nature is scary, the planet that does not care. Plants look defenseless. They cannot run from teeth. They cannot move away from fire. They cannot escape a hand reaching toward them. So we mistake stillness for weakness. But plants survive in a world that constantly eats them. Insects chew their leaves. Animals strip their bark. Fungi enter their wounds. Heat dries them out. Shade starves them slowly. To stay alive, they became chemical systems, mechanical systems, warning systems, alliance systems. Some burn, some sting, some release toxins, some fire seeds under pressure. Some call insects to fight for them. A plant does not need a nervous system to respond. It does not need muscles to defend territory. It only needs chemistry, structure, and time. The first warning is simple. If a plant cannot move away from danger, it may have made danger move away from it. On tropical coastlines, the manchineel tree can look harmless. The lush green leaves of the tree, the smooth and green apple-like fruit. Shade near the beach provides an inviting but dangerous respite. But the warning is not in its shape, it is in its hidden defenses. Manchineel produces a thick, milky fluid from its leaves, bark, twigs, and fruit. Direct contact with the sap can irritate the skin. The eyes are highly vulnerable to the toxins. The fruit is extremely dangerous if eaten. Even rain can become part of the defense. Water running over the leaves can carry irritating compounds down onto anything beneath. The tree does not need to move. It remains rooted and the warning stays active. It changes the space around it. Shelter becomes exposure. A calm green canopy becomes a chemical boundary. That is what makes plants unsettling. They do not always look like danger. They look like a typical normal part of the coastal habitat. And for most of the forest, that is enough. Animals learn the boundary. People often mark the trunks with warning signs. The tree stays rooted, and the warning stays active. But not every plant defends from above. Some defend through touch. In Australian rainforests, danger can be soft, green, and covered in tiny hairs. The gympie is a stinging tree. Its leaves and stems are lined with fine silica-tipped hairs. They can penetrate skin like microscopic needles. The pain can last far longer than the moment of contact. Days, weeks, sometimes longer. The plant is not attacking. It is built so contact has consequences. A leaf becomes a tracked surface. A brush of skin becomes a delivery system. A harmless-looking plant becomes a boundary the body remembers. This is defense by texture, defense by chemistry, defense by memory. The rainforest does not need to announce it. The warning is already built into the leaf. And once you understand that, a forest path changes. Every soft edge looks different. Every green surface has the possibility of teeth. But some plants do not wait for contact. They launch their future outward. Plants do not only defend where they stand, they also fight for space. A seed that falls straight down lands in competition. Too close to the parent, too close to shade, too close to other roots. So some plants use pressure. The sandbox tree is famous for its explosive fruit. When mature, the pods can burst apart and throw seeds outward. The trunk is armored with hard spines. The sap is toxic. The whole organism feels designed around distance. Other plants use similar principles. The squirting cucumber builds pressure inside its fruit, then ejects seeds in a sudden jet. This is not anger, it is dispersal, a mechanical solution to a biological problem. The plant cannot walk its offspring away, so it fires them. And once plants begin using force, chemistry is not far behind. A forest is not silent. It is exchanging signals constantly. When insects damage leaves, some plants release volatile compounds into the air. Those signals can change the behavior of nearby plants. They can prepare defenses before the next attack arrives. A bitten leaf becomes a warning station. A damaged stem becomes a broadcast point. The air becomes information, chemistry. Some signals can also attract predators or parasites of the insects that are feeding on the plant. The plant cannot chase the attacker, so it changes who arrives. This is where plant defense becomes hard to see. No claws, no teeth, no movement large enough for us to notice. Only molecules traveling through the air. Only neighboring leaves preparing themselves. Only a forest shifting its chemistry before the damage spreads. The battle is quiet, but it is not passive. And in some forests, plants do more than send warnings. They recruit soldiers. Some plants do not defend alone. Swollen thorn acacias live with ants. The plant offers shelter to its loyal guardians. It offers food to sustain its loyal colony. It offers a place for a colony to stay. In return, the ants defend the plant from intruders. They swarm herbivores with relentless, focused aggression. They patrol stems as the tree's silent bodyguards. They attack intruders that threaten the leaves. Some even clear competing vegetation nearby. To us, it looks like a tree covered in insects. To the plant, it is a living security system. The defense is not built from poison alone. It is built from relationships. Nectar becomes the payment for their vital services. Hollow thorns become housing for a colony to stay. A branch becomes a guarded border. This is one of nature's colder ideas. A rooted organism can still control space, not by moving through it, but by making something else move for it. And where insects defend branches, resin defends wounds. When a tree is injured, it cannot close a wound like skin, but it can seal it. It can isolate it. It can flood the damage with chemistry. On Socotra Island, the dragon's blood tree is famous for red resin. When the tree is cut or damaged, the resin can look disturbingly alive. The name sounds mythical, but the system is biological. Resins and saps can help block pests. It can seal exposed tissue and change the chemical environment around an injury. A wound becomes a controlled border. A breach becomes a chemical response. The tree loses part of itself, quite literally, then tries to stop the damage from becoming the whole story. That is the pattern across plant defense. Stillness does not mean surrender. Damage does not mean defeat. And sometimes the defense is hidden in the leaves themselves. Many plant defenses do not look dramatic. A leaf can be bitter. A stem can be loaded with latex. A seed can contain compounds that make it dangerous to eat. A fruit can look inviting and still be chemically protected. Plants make alkaloids, terpenes, phenolics, and many other defensive compounds. Some discourage insects. Some reduce feeding. Some make a plant a bad meal before it becomes a dead plant. This is defense at the scale of taste, smell, and metabolism. The boundary is invisible, but animals learn it. A bitter taste, a burning mouth, a memory of sickness, a pattern passed through behavior. Forests are full of these boundaries, not walls, not fences. Chemical lines that decide what can eat, what must stop, and what survives long enough to grow again. That is why a plant can seem peaceful while the entire surface of it is defended. Plants do not fight like animals. That is why we underestimate them. They do not chase. They do not roar. They do not strike with visible intent, but they build consequences into the world around them. Sap that burns, leaves that sting, seeds that fire, scents that warn, ants that defend, resins that seal wounds, chemicals that turn a mouthful into a mistake. Every defense is a solution to the same problem. How does something survive when it cannot leave? The answer is everywhere in the forest, in thorns, in hairs, in fruit, in bark, in invisible molecules moving through the air. A plant is not passive. It is patient. It waits in one place while its defenses do the moving. And once you see that, a forest stops looking gentle. It becomes a battlefield standing perfectly still. What we have seen is not nature turning evil, it is nature operating normally. Gas rises, water moves, storms form, and when the conditions align, life gets caught in the system. Because the planet does not choose victims, it only follows physics.